All right, this is going to be a lo-fi video today. All my ring lights, my colored lights are in a different part of the building, and I'm not going to go get them for this quick down and dirty review of the product that I got today. As you saw in the opening shot, a box showed up on my front porch. I brought it in, I pulled out a white box. That's all you saw. Well, it is a Morley Bad Horsie 2020 series pedal. So I'm building a new pedal board. It's got to be a more streamlined rig than my old one. It's got to fit into this suitcase, and that means smaller pedals or combo pedals or whatever. So for years I've been using this guy, this Morley Bad Horsie 2, but as you can see, this thing is huge. So we went with the 2020 series. You can see even the box is a lot smaller than the original pedal. So let's open up the box, take a look inside. I'll give you the nickel tour, we'll plug it in, and I will give you my 2 cents. That totals to 7 cents, a value of 7 cents, and you're getting it for free. Let's see what's in the box. So inside the box, of course, we have the pedal. It's protected from moisture and dust and the like in a heavy-duty plastic bag. And then the only other thing in the box is a Morley product brochure. So there's no user manual included, which is fine. It's a wah pedal, people. It's not that complicated. But if you really feel like you need one, you can go to morleyproducts.com and you can download one from their website. There's no power supply included either, but I think that's fine because all a power supply would do is drive up the cost of the pedal. And there's a lot of guys like me that use like a pedal power type thing, or a lot of guys like Eric Johnson that will use a 9-volt battery. So by not including a power supply, they're keeping the price down. If you really want one, then you can buy one. And I think that's okay too. Let's pull the pedal out of the plastic and take a look at it real quick. So the first thing I want to talk about with the 2020 is its size. Remember I said I wanted a smaller pedal because I'm streamlining my pedal board. And as you can see here, the Morley 2020 is quite a bit narrower and shorter than the Bad Horsie 2 that I've been using the last few years. Now, overall height is about the same. In this still, you can see that the base on the 2020 is a little bit thicker, but the overall height is about the same. The treadle angle, the pedal itself, that's called the treadle. Some people pronounce it treadle, but I believe it's pronounced treadle. The angle on that is exactly the same, which we're going to talk about again in just a minute. So let's compare the size on the new pedal to my old Crybaby 535Q. As you can see here, the Morley is quite a bit shorter than the Crybaby 535. And if you look at the width, overall width is about the same. Even though the pedal itself looks narrower, the Crybaby also has a contour knob and it's on the side, and it makes the overall footprint about the same width as the Morley. All right, let's go over the features on the 2020 real quick. You've got your standard 9-volt input jack. You've got really good, solid 1/4-inch input and output jacks for your guitar cables. You've got a level control knob, and you've got a contour control knob, and then you've got a switch which toggles between contour mode and standard mode. You've also got 2 LEDs, one that tells you when the contour mode is engaged, and the other one tells you when the wah is engaged. Now, when you're in the contour mode, the LED for contour is just always on. It doesn't mean the wah is on. It just means that when you step on the wah, you're going to be in contour mode. You switch that off, both LEDs are off, and then when you actually engage the wah pedal, the LED on the left side will come on to tell you that the wah is on, whether you're in contour or standard mode. You'll notice in those shots, as soon as I touched the treadle, the wah was engaged. The LED indicating that the wah was on came on the minute my hand touched the treadle. That's because this is a switchless wah pedal. Most wah pedals, like my Crybaby, have a switch at the front. You have to push the treadle all the way down, toe down, and click that switch in order for the wah to be on. And on the 2020 Bad Horsie, all you do is put your foot on the treadle and the wah is on. You take your foot off and the wah is disengaged. Let's talk real quick about a couple of the other features. On their marketing material, they say this thing is built like a tank. I don't know if I'd go quite that far, but it is very robust. It's an all-metal enclosure, all-metal treadle. The only plastic part that I could find is the battery cover, and that's not a big deal. Another thing is that this is an optical circuit for your wah effect. It's not a potentiometer like most other wah pedals. A potentiometer operated by the treadle is basically like a tone control on your guitar. So you've got a physical part there that can wear out, and that's not the case on the Morley pedal. Another thing, speaking of things wearing out, if you register your Morley 2020 Bad Horsie online with Morley, they will give you a lifetime warranty on this thing. That's pretty cool. If you don't register it, you get a 1-year warranty. So It's up to you. I'd register it if I were you. Another thing that I want to mention is that it does have a buffered circuit. A lot of guys are very down on buffered circuits. They're like, oh, it's got to be all true bypass or nothing for me. The problem with true bypass is that if you get too much junk in your signal chain and you've got true bypass everywhere and no buffering, it's going to have a negative impact on your overall tone. So you need to have some buffered circuitry in there. So buffered circuits are a good thing. Morley says this is their relatively new and improved buffered circuit included in this pedal. All right, let's plug this thing in and play it, see what it sounds like. And then we're going to talk about the pros and cons as I see them, and we're going to address some of the criticisms that I've seen online about this particular pedal. Let's make some noise. Down, it's not quite as bright as it is in the standard Bad Horsie mode. Let's toe down contour, toe down Bad Horsie or standard mode. You can adjust that. We're not going to do that in this video. If you want to see the range of the contour, leave a comment. We'll do another video. All right, so there's a quick little demo for you. If you'd like to see something more in depth showing the versatility of the contour knob or whatever, leave a comment down below and maybe we'll make a part 2 to this video. Anyway, right now let's talk about why I picked this pedal for my pedal board, for my new compact pedal board. As I mentioned at the top of the video, I needed something smaller than my Bad Horsie 2. Bad Horsie 2 is a great pedal, but it's pretty big. And so the 2020 version sounds exactly the same to my ears, and it is much smaller. So there's that. There's a few other things about it that I really like. The switchless thing, that's huge. For me, I don't know if it has something to do with the lack of feeling in my foot since my accident, but even before my accident, I always had trouble with traditional wahs feeling whether or not I'd click that switch. I didn't know if they were on or off, and I had to go back and kind of listen into my in-ears or the monitors or whatever to tell whether the wah pedal was on or off. So this one, once I take my foot off, it's off. And I know that because it's got an LED that tells me that it's off. So those are a couple of the things that I like. The other thing I like about the switchless is that when you turn it on, Unlike a traditional one where you have to put it toe down and click the switch, when you do that, you're at the bright end of your wah sweep. And I don't like that. I like to be at the dark end of the wah sweep when I turn the pedal on. And with the switchless, that's exactly what I get. Another thing I like about the Bad Horsie is, as I mentioned earlier, it's an optical wah. There's no potentiometer to get scratchy and noisy. So that's a big plus in my book. The contour mode is another plus for me. I like the ability to tweak that EQ sweep, that tone contour. Sometimes I don't use it, but it's there if I need it. So the only con that I could find isn't actually a con for me personally, but a lot of guys like to turn their wah pedal on and then sort of back the treadle off into a half open position, take their foot off and play a guitar solo with the pedal like that. And you can't do that with the Morley Bad Horsie because it's a spring-loaded treadle. And like I said, for me personally, that's not a negative. I like the spring-loaded treadle, but for some of you guys, that might be a possible con. So let's talk about some of the criticisms I've seen online. Earlier I mentioned we were going to come back to the treadle angle. That is one of the criticisms I saw. A guy wrote that the angle was weird and he couldn't use it because of the angle of the treadle, which I don't understand because it's exactly the same. He said something about being an old guy and maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. To me, there's absolutely no difference. So I don't know what that guy was talking about. Another guy said that the glow-in-the-dark feature on the pedal doesn't work. Well, let's take a look. Looks like it's working to me. So I don't know what that guy was going on about. Another criticism that I saw online was a guy who said that when you engage the wah pedal, you get some hiss at high gain. Any wah pedal is going to do that in a high gain situation. The instant you click that switch on any other wah pedal, you're going to hear that same high frequency hiss. It's just the nature of a wah pedal. In a clean environment, you don't hear that. So there's another criticism that I think we can just dismiss. All right, one last thing. I do not have an endorsement agreement with Morley. This is not a sponsored video. Morley didn't sponsor it. Sweetwater didn't sponsor it. I sponsored it. While I don't have an endorsement agreement with Morley as of today, maybe someday down the road I will, because I would love to have an endorsement agreement with them. But as of today, recording this video, I do not. I have no business association with them whatsoever. I just like their products. All right, I said I was going to keep this short and sweet, so we're going to stop right there. Until next time, you guys live well and rock hard, and we'll see ya.